Welcome to part 2 of my Filled with Love online video class. Again, I'll be using the Filled with Love stamp set and Love Patterns Designer Series paper pack, which is currently available through January 24th through Stampin' Up! And my website. I'm making today one of my new passions, this clear card. I used the Stampin' Up! Medium weight window sheets and cut it to 4x8, scored it, and have a great card base that looks unique and very, very polished. And of course I'm going to be discussing with you how to create the rest of the card. So let's get started. Again, here is my clear window sheet card base. The key to a clear card is burying the adhesive. So for example, this is the back of the card, and I have attached, and you can use mini glue dots as I have, or you can use snail. I've attached a Whisper White 3 3/4 inch square to the outside, and for a little help with lining it up, you probably can't see that, but you can use grid paper to actually center the window sheet and then attach. And then this is the inside, so I've now hidden the adhesive from the Whisper White, and I'll be burying the adhesive from the sweet little Pretty in Pink polka dot, again from the Love Patterns Designer Series paper pack, on top. So this is going to create the back of the card. I also do not fold it or score it until I'm done with this aspect. It's much easier attaching these now versus when I'm trying, if it's already scored, I'm trying to shove that in there and line it up. It's much easier using it flat. So this is also the inside of the card. So I have attached a real red piece, 3 3/4 inch square. So the part that I'm going to work on next will be adding this outside area and ultimately attaching it. So let's get started. I've added 3 pieces. All 3 panels are measuring 1 inch by 2 1/8. This is real red, the stripe is in real red, and the center is Pretty in Pink. Just make sure this is a text pattern, again from the Love Patterns Designer Series paper pack. Make sure your text is going the right direction. And I've attached them to a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is sized to 3 1/4 inch square. I've also added some sticky strip that I'll be removing shortly and using to attach the scrunchy ribbon. Well, let's next go on to the cute little hearts. Again, this is a stamp, the heart stamp from the Filled with Love stamp set. And I've stamped it in real red and Pretty in Pink on a piece of Whisper White cardstock. While I have the stamp inked up, I typically do an extra in case I start talking too much or I get distracted and I schmutz one, as I like to say. And I did 3 reds and 2 pinks. If you're a pink person, you can do 3 pinks and 2 reds. No one's going to arrest you. Trust me. I like this one a little better. The impression's better, so I'm going to grab that one. Hope I stamp it okay. So no schmutzes, but I had those there as a backup because it can happen. Next, I'm going to adhere them to this piece. It's kind of random. And I don't need an entire Stampin' Dimensional to pop them up. And I don't have them all popped up either. I'm going to pop up my 2 red ones, and I'm going to cut this in half. These are my gunky scissors that I use for all my adhesive cutting, sticky strip, anything that's kind of junky and sticky. And I'm going to attach a red one. Oh, I want to make sure I have that buried right there. And put that up. Ooh, I'm going to let it hang over a little bit. I think that's kind of a cute look. And then the other piece I'm going to attach to another real red. Making sure I keep that inside so it doesn't peek out. It's funny, I always found those little hexagons from the Stampin' Dimensionals around the house. They kind of have some static electricity. So They're just my family knows their mom's little love notes around the house from when she was busy stamping. This one I'm going to lay flat just because I want to play a little bit with the texture. And I don't want them spaced perfectly. I'm not into that. I like a little inconsistency. So I'm going to pop up another real red one. And adding it, right? Let's tip it a little. And then the last pink, I'm going to keep with just some snail. I'll pop it here. And I'll tell you, my most favorite part of this card, I love clear, but my favorite part was discovering this week. Actually, my downline shared a whole bunch of tips on ways to do scrunchy ribbon, and I'm completely in love. But I am absolutely afraid of a needle and thread. I don't sew a lick. So when someone told me I could take the satin ribbon, and the hardest part honestly is kind of working so you can get a single fiber. But once you start pulling a single fiber kind of near the center would be ideal, you can start pulling and it scrunches. I don't know how this fiber doesn't break, but mine isn't. And I just keep scrunching. It is not meant to be perfect. It's supposed to be cute and scrunchy. So I've got plenty here. And just a little note, you can actually leave this on the full length, actually on your little round, I'm totally drawing a blank, your ribbon reel. That's what I'm going to call it right now, my ribbon reel. So you don't have to necessarily measure and have any waste. So that's just a little tip for you. I just happen to have a long piece of this because this is all the pretty and pink satin ribbon I have. Gorgeous stuff, by the way. So I can remove my little savior here, the little guy that helped me go scrunchy, and I'm going to take off the sticky strip. And as you know, I do these live and unedited, partly because I don't know how to edit. I just stamp. So this will give me a nice sticky base to work with. And I'm going to start on with one end. I'm going to start with this side first. And then bring this down and across. Oh my gosh, this is way cute. I just love it. And I've got a little more than enough. That's okay, because it's going to fold around. And I'm going to use my beloved ribbon scissors and cut off the excess. There we go. And just lay it flat. That is just totally cute. I'm going to smooch it down a little so I can see that last heart. That's just how I roll. And then you can go ahead and attach it. I'm just going to use, just so you know that I can also use snail. I'm going to use snail to attach it. And I'm going to layer it right over this real red that I've attached on the inside. So all of my stuff is buried. How cool is that? I don't know who thought of that, but boy, were they smart. And then you can go ahead, and you're going to think that this is going to crack, but it doesn't. You're going to go ahead and just go ahead, and I can actually set that particular score for the clear card. Good so far? So let's finish up with the sentiment. I use the Thoughts of You, Warm My Heart, which is also from the Filled with Love stamp set. Can you see I'm just so into it? And I'm going to use the Modern Label Punch and punch it slightly off to the side because I'm going to add an embellishment on the left. Another great thing about this current Filled with Love promotion is you get free clear bitty buttons if you buy the bundle. Love it. Absolutely love it. And it coordinates with, this is the Heart to Heart punch. And I'm just punching out in real red the smallest little heart. And I'm using mini glue dots to attach it. I don't care, you can barely see it, but since you can a little bit, and I'm so picky, I am going to add an embellishment at the very end here to cover it, and it will be one of the new Jewels Basic Pearls. Use the largest size. I like using my paper snips because it allows me, I'm going to adjust I want this right behind there a little bit more. Better. It allows me to have better placement than trying to pick it up, and I don't lose the adhesive on the back if I do it with the scissors. And I'm going to grab one more dimensional. And attach it. Kind of floating. I like stuff sort of floating off, not so perfect. Bring back my card. Gotta have Stampin' Dimensionals to pop this baby up. So there you go. I find it helps to kind of punch it down with my thumbnail to get those to pop up. You may know that already, but here you go. There's the finished card. And you've got a cute clear card. As a little final touch, I've shown this before, but I am just nutso about coordinating envelopes. So I've actually layered. This is a template. Basically, I pirated and took apart one of the envelopes from the Stampin' Up! Fresh Notes note card set because it accommodates a 4x4 card. Laid it down on some of this new Love Patterns Designer Series paper. This is the pretty polka dot to coordinate with it. And then scored it in the exact same ways. And oh, there's the bottom. And these two pieces go in first. Bone folder helps set a nice clean line. And I could have chosen either side if I wanted to. It's amazing when I use paper snips and I lay that down. When I use this on the designer paper, I use Dado repositionable adhesive, so it comes right up. And I can just keep using it over and over, and I don't have to keep stealing from another set. I just needed the one. Went over a little bit. Clean that up. So there you go. And then for a final touch, I'm going to use, this is one more stamp from the Filled with Love. I'm going to use the Full Heart Punch. This is probably my favorite stamp in the whole batch. Just going to make sure I've got it lined up. And just like Cupid, I'm going to pierce it in the heart, this one little red heart here. And add one of our Glimmer Brads. This is actually from the In Color collection, but the red is perfectly close to real red, and I had it and I was going to use it, and happy to do it. Okay, so I'm going to fold this last piece over, and normally you would want to adhere when you're going to stuff the envelope in, but I don't want to adhere it just yet. But I'm going to ultimately attach this, and it will be sitting on here. I can even show you how. A little piece of adhesive, snail. I'll have that just hanging over, and then when I put this sweet little card inside, fits just perfect, I will adhere this, and you'll have that sweet little touch on the outside. Thank you. I look forward to talking to you in part 3 of my online video. Bye-bye.